Hey guys, welcome to Tabletop Warbands! In this video we are playing Warhammer 40k in Combat Patrol format, which pits the Space Marines against the Death Guard. I'm Simone and I will be playing the Space Marines.
Hi, I'm Andrea and I will be playing the Death Guard. Before we start, if you are subscribed to the channel, welcome back! If you're not subscribed yet and want to help us, join a growing community now by clicking on the subscribe button. And don't forget to activate the bell so you don't miss the next battle reports. Thank you guys!
Today's mission is Sweeping Raid. The two armies will have to deploy within these two areas. There are 4 objectives and they are arranged in this way. As secondary objective, Space Marines have chosen Wrath of the Emperor, while the Death Guard has Spread the Blight.
Let's move on to the description of the armies. Now that the water source is poisoned, the only thing left to do is test the city defenses before the real invasion. How predictable. A group of Space Marines showed up to defend the city. Typhus, go and show them the might of Nargo. The general of the army is Typhus. He is armed with a master-crafted Man Reaper, and as an enhancement, he has Walking Plague. In my command phase, I can select one friendly Poxwalker unit within contagion range and return up to the 6 destroyed Poxwalkers. The second in command is Falgot Grelch, a Biologos Putrifier equipped with Hyper Blight grenades and Injector Pistol. When leading a unit, he gives the rule Lethal 5+ to every model in the unit. Next in line are the Plague Marines. The unit is composed of 1 Plague Champion armed with Heavy Plague Weapon and Plague Bolt Gun, 1 Plague Marine armed with Blight Launcher, 1 Marine with Plague Spewer, and 4 Marines with Plague Bolt Gun. Finally, there are 3 units of 10 Poxwalker Siege armed with improvised weapons. Their goal will be to attract the enemy fire while the other units get closer to the enemy. Every model in my army has an aura called Contagions of Nargot, and each round increases the contagion range of this aura, starting with 3 inches in the first round, up to 9 inches after the third. All the enemy models inside this ability have their toughness reduced by 1.
Sickening signs are spreading across the intricate aqueduct system that supplies the city of Yerza with water. Citizens complain of strange slime coming out of taps and nauseating stench from the sewers. A detachment of Space Marines, aware of the presence of the Death Guard in the surrounding area, is preparing to face the terrible threat. The general of this army is a captain in Terminator armor, equipped with Relic Weapon and Stormbolter. Following him is a librarian in Terminator armor. His presence inside the unit of Terminators will allow me to enhance their attacks. The base unit of the detachment consists of 5 Space Marines belonging to the Inferno Squad, armed with Pyre Blasters. The strongest squad I have is the Terminators. 4 models armed with Stormbolters and 1 model armed with Assault Cannon.
I decided to deploy my units towards the center of the battlefield. Considering my numerical superiority, I need to take as much space as possible before Simone. On the left side, I deployed the Marines led by the Biologos, while on the right side there is a Poxwalkers unit that will hold Objective 2 until the end of the battle. In the center, there is Typhus leading a unit of Poxwalkers, and to shield him, there's another unit of Poxwalkers in front of him.
Having only 3 units, I don't have the possibility to take advantage of the deployment, so I decided to position the models as much in cover as possible. The Marines of the Inferno Squad are deployed next to Objective 1. Being a battle line unit, they have the possibility of maintaining control of the objective even after moving away. The Terminators, with the Librarian inside and the Captain, are lined up behind the containers, ready to advance towards Objective 3. Based on who gets the initiative, I will decide how to move.
Rolling for the initiative, blue dice for Space Marines and green dice for Death Guard.
Great! I need to go second.
6. The initiative is mine. Well, the only unit that can shoot are my Marines, but they're not in range of any enemy unit. And since my army has the movement of a rock, I guess this round will be really short. I advance with every unit, but the Poxwalkers that are controlling Objective 2. They stand still. Starting with my Marines, that roll a 6. With 11 inches of movement, they easily reach Objective 4. They walk really slow, but they are amazing runners apparently. Now, the first unit of Poxwalkers. 5. Movement doubled. With 9 inches of movement, they reach the center of the battlefield. With another 5, the unit led by Typhus reaches the other Poxwalkers and stops right behind them, waiting for the enemy. That's it. My turn finishes here.
The Out of Moment rule allows me to choose an enemy unit, and until my next turn, all my models that make an attack against the chosen unit can reroll hit rolls. This turn, I choose the Plague Marines. The first to move are the Marines of the Inferno Squad. No longer having to control Objective 1, they move forward, next to the smoke. The Terminators move next to the pipeline, within weapons range. The Captain moves slightly to the side to keep enemies in his line of sight. After all units have moved, we can move on to the shooting phase. The most dangerous unit under their controls are the Plague Marines, so the Terminators focus their attention on them. Let's start with the Storm Bolters, 8 shots at 2+, thanks to the special rule that adds a +1 to the hit roll if the target is the unit chosen for the Oath of Moment. I reroll the dice in balance. I can reroll failed dice thanks to Oath of Moment. The Librarian in the unit gives the sustain hits 1 rule, so with the 6 done, that's 8 total hits. Strength 4 and Toughness 5, 5+ to wound. 3 wounds on the Plague Marines.
Saving with 3+. Of course, not even 1.
Now the Librarian Stormbolter, 2 shots at 3+. I can reroll the failed dice. Just 1, 5+ to wound. Yep, wounded.
Saving again with 3+. Nope.
The Librarian Smite does d6 shots. Oh, I really like this 6. 3+ to hit. I reroll the 2. Another 2. 4+ to wound. Not bad, 4 wounds.
-1 penetration this time, so saving with 4+. Oh, that's bad.
Each dice is the 3 wounds inflicted. The first, 3 wounds. The second, 2. The last, 2 again. And finally, the Assault Cannon, 6 shots at 2+ for the Terminator special rule. 7 dice thanks to sustain hits. With strength 6, it wounds at 3+. 6! We have done quite a bit of cleaning, I see.
Again, 3+ to save. Just 1 wound through, it's okay. 5 Marines eliminated in just 1 round of fire. Great!
And now the Captain targets the Poxwalkers in front of him, hoping to eliminate at least one of them. 2 shots at 2+. Snake Eyes. If he kills a Poxwalker, I gain 2 victory points, so I use a command point to reroll a dice. Better! Strength 4 and Toughness 4, 4+ to wound. Ah, what a waste.
What a terrible saving rolls. If I did manage to save at least a couple of Marines instead of losing 5, it would have been fine. Now I find myself with only 3 models that can shoot. In the next turn, I absolutely need Typhus to charge, or I think that this game will end pretty fast.
What a disappointment the Captain's role was. I could have gotten victory points already in this turn. It would have been enough to eliminate just one enemy model with the General. Well, it doesn't matter, it means that he will have to work harder in the next round. Meanwhile, I managed to eliminate most of the Plague Marines unit, and this is already a success. If Andrea reached the next turn with all the Marines, he would certainly have decimated my army. Now I have some chance of winning.
Second turn, hoping that this will be better than the previous one. First thing first, thanks to the mission rule, supply lines, I roll a dice to see if I manage to get the additional command point at 4+. Nope. Now I have to test the Marines to see if they're battle shot. Rolling 2 dice, and with 5+, they're fine. 11. Nice. The Marines move forward to have someone to shoot in range. The Poxwalkers advance to reach objective 3, and with 6, they manage to take control of it. And now comes the important part of the movement. Typhus and his Poxwalkers move forward, ready to charge the enemies. In the shooting phase, my Marines aim the Terminators and try to eliminate some before the charge. Let's start with the Biologus that throws a Hyper Blight grenades, making d6 +1 shots thanks to the rule blast. 6! That's 7 shots that hit at 3+. Thanks to his ability Foul Infusion that gives his unit 5+ lethal hits, that's 2 automatic wounds and 1 to wound at 4+. Missed.
With -1 penetration, I need 3+. Double 6! Well done, Terminators.
Okay, now the d6 shots of the Plague Spewer. 4, it's okay. They automatically hit and wound with 2+ thanks to the rule Anti-Infantry 2+. Only 3 hits.
3 to save a 3+. After the double 6, there is obviously the double 1. Only 1 shot saved.
Blight Launcher, 2 shots at 3+. 1 automatic wound and 1 hit. With higher strength, I wound with 3+. Wounded.
Again 3+ to save. Damn! The first Terminator is dead. But okay, all in all, many more models could have been eliminated.
Typhus tries the charge on the Terminators.
I use a command point for Overwatch. My Terminators welcome the Poxwalkers with fireworks. Let's start with 12 shots at 6 by the Stormbolters. In 12 shots, I didn't roll a single 6. Wow. D6 shots of the Smite. 3 shots to hit at 6. They also failed. finally, the assault cannon, 6 shots at 6. I can't believe it. More than fireworks, they were blank shots. Proceed with the charging.
Okay, now that Simon has failed every shot, I need a 10 to enter combat. 11! Awesome! Typhus and the Poxwalkers behind him reach the Terminators without problems. Not every Poxwalker is in range to fight, so the unit pile in on the Terminators and then fight. To help them, I use the stratagem Corrosive Effluence. For 1 command point to increase the armor penetration by 1.
I use a command point for Gene Root Resilience. If the attacker's strength is greater than the model's toughness, the attacker must reduce the wound roll by 1. Against Typhus, it is definitely necessary.
Let's start with Typhus, shall we? He makes 12 attacks at 2+ with the strike profile of his weapon. 1 automatic wound and 3 normal hits, winning with 3+ because of Simone's stratagem. All wound.
I absolutely have to save the Terminators at 4+. Amazing! I saved them all! It would have been a disaster if I hadn't saved them.
Of course you did. It's the Poxwalker's turn to attack. Only 9 are in fight, so it's 18 attacks at 5+. 3 automatic wounds and 5 more to wound at 5+ for the higher toughness. Not even 1.
3 attacks at 3+ to defend. Did the Poxwalkers really do more damage to the Terminators than Typhus? If I were Typhus, I would be worried. 2 wounds sustained. Now the Terminators pile in to better position themselves. Then target the Poxwalkers, since they are evidently the most dangerous enemy.
To help them survive, I spend a command point for the stratagem Disgustingly Resilient, to reduce the damage suffered by 1.
The first to attack is the Sergeant with the power weapon, 4 attacks at 4+ due to Typhus' ability. All of them with 2 6s that make 2 more attacks, 6 attacks to wound at 3+. 4 wounds.
Poxwalkers have no save, but they ignore wounds at 5+, so rolling 4 dice at 5+. Not a single 5.
Now it's up to the Power Fists, 9 attacks at 4+. 5 attacks plus an additional 1, with strength 9 they wound at 2. 5 wounds.
5 more wounds to ignore at 5+. 4 more Poxwalkers eliminated.
And finally the Librarian's Force Weapon, 4 attacks at 4+. A single 6 that makes an additional attack, 2 attacks that wound at 3+. Nope, he missed them.
Great, 8 Poxwalkers eliminated. I really need Typhus to step up in the next turn.
At the start of the turn, I can change the chosen unit for Oath of Moment, and I choose Typhus. I have to take care of him. Then I roll to see if I get an additional command point at 4+. Here it is! 2 command points this round, not bad. The Inferno squad moves forward, finally coming into sight of enemies to shoot at.
I spend 1 command point to shoot Overwatch with my Marines on the enemy flamers, starting with the Biologus and his grenades. D6 plus 1 shots. 4 shots total that hit at 6. None. The Plague Spewer, D6 shots. Only 2. Automatic hit, so wounding with 2+. Only 1.
Okay, I'd save at 4+. 6! Today I'm in good shape with dice rolls.
2 shots of the Blight Launcher at 6. Only 1 hit, that is an automatic wound.
4+ save again. And this too is defended. Finally the Marine's armor is truly effective. The Captain moves forward, preparing to charge the enemies. The Inferno squad unleashes the flamethrowers at the Plague Marines, hoping to take them all out. 5d6 shots. Few shots, less than needed. 10 shots that hit automatically, with strength 5 and toughness 5, they need 4+ to wound. 7 total wounds.
Saving with 3+. I can't afford to lose another Marine, so I reroll 1 with the command point. 1 wound through. Finally, some saves.
Will the Captain Stormbolter on the Poxwalkers manage to take out someone this time? 4 shots at 2+. All 4! Now he must wound at 4+. Ah, well, just 1.
Ignoring the wound with 5+. No! It was stopping on the 6! 1 Poxwalker dead.
Finally, thanks to this model eliminated by the Captain, I gained 2 victory points with the secondary objective Wrath of the Emperor. The Captain tries to enter the fray and charges Typhus. He needs 3 to get there. No problem, the Captain arrives in contact with Typhus. Having charged, the Captain goes first. I also chose the enhancement Champion Duelist for him, which gives his melee weapons the precision and lethal hits rules. This means that he can attack Typhus directly even if he's inside the Poxwalker's unit, so 6 attacks at 3+ on Typhus. Thanks to little hits, the 6 automatically wounds, so that's 2 dice to wound at 5+. 1 wound plus the automatic wound, 2 total.
4+ invulnerable save. Only 1 save. 2 wounds through. Now it's my turn to fight. My Poxwalkers and Typhus target the Terminators.
I use Gym Road Resilience again for a command point, so the Typhus has a -1 to wound.
The Poxwalkers attack first, making 4 attacks at 5+. Only 1 hit. Higher toughness, so wounding with 5+. Missed. Now Typhus and his 5 attacks at 2+. 1 automatic wound and 3 more to wound at 3+. 3 wounds total.
3 dice to save at 4. 2 saved luckily, however 1 Terminator was eliminated. There are 3 Terminators left plus the Librarian. Now it's up to them to attack the Poxwalkers. Sergeant's power weapon, 4 attacks at 4+. I'll start by just doing 2 attacks to see if I get rid of the Poxwalkers. 1 hit, 3+ to wound. Okay, good.
Ignoring wound with 5+. Nope.
I only roll 1 attack now for the last Poxwalker at 4+. Hit, 3+ again to wound. Wounded.
Again, ignoring wound with 5+. Another 4.
The last attack on Typhus at 4+. Nothing, failed. 4 Librarian's Force Weapon attacks on Typhus. All hits, with 2 6s making 2 additional attacks, so 6 total. With Strength 6, same as the Toughness, 4+ to wound. 3 wounds inflicted.
-1 penetration, so saving with 3+. Only 2 saved.
D3 damage. Good, 3 wounds. Power Fists, 6 attacks at 2+ thanks to the Terminator's ability. I reroll the 1. 1 again, of course. 5 successful attacks, with Strength 8, 3+ to wound. 4 wounds.
-2 penetration this time, so saving with 4+. Not a single save. Impressive fight, Typhus. Really impressive. I can't believe that Typhus managed to deal less wounds than the Poxwalkers. Also, Simon is rolling 6 for every saving roll, while my Typhus can't roll higher than 3. This game is in the hands of my Marines. In the next turn, I'll need to eliminate at least one of Simone's units, but I don't think I can win.
I managed to eliminate Typhus. This was a necessary condition to have even a chance of winning the match. If I hadn't managed to eliminate him, I would have been in serious trouble the next round. Now I haven't secured victory yet, I have to deal with the Plague Marines, but at least I can see a path forward to come out on top. The next round will be decisive, I have to get as many Marines as possible to survive and start collecting some victory points from the objectives, or the capping points between me and Andrea will be too high to close in 3 turns.
First thing first, rolling for the additional command point at 4+. 5! Nice! Now the Battle Shock test of the Marines. 11 again! Great! In the shooting phase, my Marines try to eliminate the Inferno Squad again, starting with the Biologus, D6 plus 1 shots. 7 again! Hitting at 3+, 1 automatic wound, and 3 more to wound the 3+. All wound!
I try to save them at 4+. 2 are saved, I reroll dice with a command point. Magic trick, a 1 turns into a 2, and it's still a failure.
Plague Spewer, D6 shots, only 2. Wounding with 2+, just 1. That's sad!
It dies at 4+? Too bad, a wound suffered.
And now, the Blight Launcher, 2 shots at 3+. 1 automatic wound, and 1 to wound at 2+. Wounded.
Again 4+ to save. Only 1 dice is saved, another Marine dead. At the end of the salvo, 3 Marines lie lifeless on the ground. The unit chosen this turn for Oath of Moment are the Plague Marines. Then I roll to see if I get an additional command point at 4+. No, not this time. The Inferno Squad has to take the Battle Shock test. They have leadership 6. My Marines are brave! In the movement phase, the Captain moves towards the Poxwalkers. Then the Terminators prepare to follow their commander.
I spend 1 command point to shoot Overwatch with my Marines on the Terminators, starting with the Biologus, D6 shots. 5 shots that hit with 6. 2 automatic wounds.
2 dice to save a 3+. I use a command point to reroll the dice. Only 1 saved, 2 wounds sustained.
Plague Spewer, D6 shots. 6. Finally a good roll. Wounding with 2+. All wound.
Damn, 6 wounds to save a 3+ is a lot. Oh boy, all saved except 1. I can't really complain about the defense dice today.
2 shots of the Blight Launcher at 6. Missed both.
Another Terminator was eliminated, but it could have been much worse. The unit is still in good condition. The Inferno squad opens fire on the Plague Marines, trying to burn some of them. 26 shots. With just 2 Marines, I made more shots than when I fired with all members of the squad before. 11 automatic shots that wound at 4+. 6 wounds on target.
No penetration, so saving with 3+. I'd like my Marine to stay alive, so I reroll the 2 with a command point. Nope, 1 Marine left alive.
The Terminators also fire on the Plague Marines, 6 shots from the Assault Cannon at 2+. I reroll a dice thanks to the Out of Moment rule. All 6 hit, 3+ to wound. 4 wounds, of which 1 is a 6, and thanks to the Devastating Wounds rule, it is a mortal wound.
Saving again with 3+. 1 wound through plus the mortal wound.
Terminator Stormbolter, 2 shots at 3+ as the Marine unit is eliminated and no longer counts as Out of Moment. Both hit, including a 6, so 3 hits total, 5+ to wound. All missed. The Librarian Stormbolter, 2 shots at 3+. Only 1, 5+ to wound. Missed. Librarian Smite, D6 hits. Only 1. How sad. 3+ to hit. A 6, which becomes 2 hits. I need 4+ to wound. A wound.
-1 penetration, so saving with 4+. Save! This Marine though is not that lucky.
The Captain tries to gain 2 more victory points by shooting at the Box Walkers. Being short range, he fires 4 shots at 2+. Okay, well done, Captain. 4+ to wound. 2 wounds to the Box Walkers.
Ignoring wounds with 5+? Neither. 2 Box Walkers are eliminated.
As I hoped, with at least 1 enemy model killed by the General, I gained 2 victory points. The leader charges the Box Walkers and needs 3 to get there. It would be a successful charge, but thanks to his ability, I rerolled the charge roll, since such a low movement would block the Terminator's path. 7 is much better. My leader approaches the Box Walkers, eager to throw some punches. The Terminators also charge the Box Walkers and need a 5. Luckily, I rerolled the leader's charge, otherwise they wouldn't have arrived. But now I'm ready to make an infected gem. At first, I didn't want to charge with the Inferno squad, but since only the Biologus remained, I changed my mind. The Inferno squad also charges and needs 7. Nope, charge failed. I use a command point to reroll. Yay! 9 is enough to bring them both within range of the objective to contest it. Now they just have to survive the fight. The Terminators begin the dance by piling and bringing all models into combat. They then attack the Box Walkers with Power Fists, making 6 attacks at 3+. With sustained hits, that's 7 successful attacks. At strength 8, at 2+ is enough to wound. 5 wounds! Poor Box Walkers!
Yeah, poor indeed. Ignoring 5 attacks of 2 wounds each, at 5+. First 2 wounds. Close, but no. Second. Nope. Next. Nope again. Same roll. And also the last one goes through.
Now the Librarian's Force Weapon, 4 attacks at 3+. 3 out of 4. Strength 6 and Toughness 4 needs a 4. All 3! The 3 damage each. I reroll the dice in the balance. 3 wounds. 2 wounds, 1 wound. Have fun saving them.
Okay, ignoring every wound with 5+. Starting with the single one. Nope. The 2 wounds. Neither. 3 wounds just for fun. Nope. The Box Walkers are eliminated. Too bad.
The Inferno squad attacks the Biologus, making 6 attacks at 3+. 3 hit. They wound at 5+. Oh, I didn't expect this. Help!
Biologus turn. 4 attacks at 3+. Only 1. Wounding with 4+. He returned the favor, it seems. I guess we can end the game here since I don't have any chance of winning with only the Biologus and 1 unit of Box Walkers alive. Win goes to the Space Marines. This was an unfortunate game. The Space Marines' toughness and the fact that my first turn was only movement damaged me a lot. Also, losing almost the entire unit of Marines before they could even shoot was a hard hit, but the worst thing was that Typhus dealt only 1 wound. Anyway, nice battle.
In the end, I managed to survive thanks to all the good defense dice rolls, which kept my Marines alive long enough to take out the enemy models. If I'd missed a few more dice rolls, the game would have been an easy victory for the death card. Clearly, the Emperor has been watching over them. The aqueduct has been purified from the plague that afflicted it. Good game. Before finishing, we would like to take a moment to thank our members who have decided to support us on Patreon. And if you guys want to support the channel and enjoy an additional and exclusive battle report per month, or see your models showcased in our videos, the Patreon link is in the description. We are waiting for you on Discord.
And if you have come this far, write the word Poxifus in the comments to let us know. You are the best. And if you are not yet subscribed, subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, leave a like and write us in the comments. We are always curious to know what you think.
That's it, guys.
See you next video.